Hello again, Mr. Walker. Last chapter, late in the afternoon. Been a long day, and the Cubs lost Tuesday, so all of those things are lending themselves to perhaps my diminished enthusiasm. But I did enjoy the legal ethics chapter, um, especially about contracts and contractual law, and then the review of the different branches of law in our country are important. And it's too bad, and I think I mentioned to you maybe in the past, I have not had too much experience in South Dakota. There were three cases I was involved in. One was fairly direct, the other two I was kind of an indirect party, and had to do with the Office of Civil Rights in one case, and the other two had to do more with insurance and employment. So been involved in those a little bit, and then at the AEA, of course, I actually didn't have any particular cases, but was involved as an ancillary in a couple of school districts that I really didn't have to provide any direct assistance to because our legal team did, and the superintendent of the school pretty much took care of it. But I'm assuming special ed law in particular, and then right now I know that there's a grievance going on in Carroll about a particular transfer, and we'll see how that comes out and whether that reaches a legal level. Contracts have these things. They have an offer and acceptance and some competency, some consideration, the legalities of the subject matter, and then the proper form. And I've known that, and I know they get pretty boilerplate, but we have legal counsel that can always help us with those things. Civil law is legislative, common law established by the courts, always known that. And then there's constitutional law, statutes, and cases. And then in addition, of course, the Attorney General may wage in and then administrative judgment, and in this state in particular in special education. Civil law protects individuals. Criminal law is the rights of society. Always understood those distinctions, although lots of times when there's a violation, they cross over both of those things. The systems of government, the district, the appeals, and then finally the Supreme, um, give people a great due process in our country, and we're lucky to have that. The defense, for us, in case we would get entangled in any type of legal disagreement, really probably will be dependent on us having good policies and procedures and then following those policies and procedures and making sure that we're documenting them, which again, with the technology today, should be easier than it has been in the past. Torts, which happen more often than not, if there's going to be a legal entanglement in education, are civil in nature and can be intentional or negligent. The intentional ones, of course, give more pause because if that's the case, then that means one of our employees did something to somebody on purpose, and that would be beneath who we hope we are going to be. Negligent, however, does happen, but again, that's being clear about policies and procedures, making sure they're explained appropriately with clarity, and then making sure they're enforced by all the supervisors, which includes employees supervising students. But again, basically, this whole chapter is about procedures and policies, following them, and then the discretion that goes along with ethics and philosophy, which in my case, I feel that that's probably more my strength than policy and procedure. I know that the symbol of that would be my previous position as a principal. I rarely addressed the discipline grid. More often than not, I tried to get to know the individual student and mete out appropriate circumstances dependent upon my knowledge of them. And that can get you into trouble, I know, but also I want to be a person who really does believe in the individual and the individual circumstance. And if it's not reaching a legal um, type of a threshold, then making sure just treating people with dignity and the compassion that is necessary in our business. So I know there's some discretion. I'm probably not going to have the ability to be as discretionary as I normally have been in many things, budgetarily, um, and some of the other decision making. But I hope that we don't lose the human uh, nature of being able to make decisions. I want to thank you. This book was great. Again, it's reinforced many things. It's got me prepared here for stepping into this position in July, and it's been wonderful. And so I'm glad I went through it. And I'll send you my project soon, and then we should be complete. So just let me know if there's anything else. Thanks again, Mr. Walker.